Here we are at Mixdown HQ. Today we're looking at
another one from Tone Boosters. This is the Tone Boosters Enhancer.
Okay, well, let's have a look at it and then I'll ask you, is it? Excellent stuff.
Yes. Right, straight in at the deep end. You may know that we sort of discovered Tone Boosters at some point last year and have become pretty big fans. I'm using their EQ and I'm using their multi-band compressor pretty much all the time. Love their stuff. They've got a plugin called Enhancer, so I thought, look, I've got to have a look at it, see what it does. So basically it's a 3-band saturation plugin which also has a subharmonic generator, and it uses AI to help with dynamics and timbre or EQ. It also has a stereo widener. You can see from looking at the interface, like all the Tone Boosters stuff, it's pretty colourful. You can change all that stuff. You can have it any colour you like. But it's also very clear, and that's one of the things I just love about the Tone Boosters stuff. It's very easy to see what's what. So let's look at the main panel here. You can see you've got a bunch of coloured sort of columns. So this M1 here, this is your subharmonic generator, generating the stuff that is below the bass. So this one here with the bell shape on it, that is your saturation for the sub, more or less, or enhancement, shall we say. So you drag the top of that up and down, or you can drag it left and right. This one to the left is adding sub below it. This one here to the right of it is adding harmonics above it. And you can just mess with that, those 3 levels where they are, to get the bass sounding right how you want it. You've then got a mid-range without the harmonic generation, just the mid-range. How much of that do you want? How much of that enhancement do you want? You set it again, you move it, you've got the width and everything else. The same for the top end, and then on the top end you've got this enhancement thing at the end as well, which does, you know, some magical things with the high end. You've got these controls along the bottom. This is the amount of enhancement in sort of percentages for the bass, mid and treble. So those 3 main columns, this is how much of that you're hearing. Separate to this isn't controlling how much of that you're driving, it's how much of that you're then hearing. You can click on the little headphones to hear individually what they're doing. You've then got an overall mix control. Now you can see on this screenshot here, I've got it set at 24%. You're going to want to be around there somewhere. If you push it really high, it's just going to be all saturation and enhancement. It's not going to sound not what you want. You just got to feather in a bit of it so that it starts to make things sound better.
Just thumb it in.
We were definitely going to get there at some point. There you go. Thumb it in, as Dan says. We've then got a width control. Again, nice. Just add a bit of stereo width. Do you like a bit of width, Dan?
Yeah. What would have thumbing it in?
That probably causes issues. We've then got the range control, which is your dynamics. So more or less dynamics. It's using AI to basically do that for you. You just set it how much, have a play with it. It really does work. And then the timbre, or the EQ basically, and you've got a selection of different styles. So you've got like electronic, you've got rock music, you've got various different styles there. You click between them and then you dial it up more or less.
Reminds me of the old demos you used to get on
it's really
home
similar
keyboards.
to home keyboard demos. Yeah, same, but that makes sense.
Yeah,
let's keep it simple. It's just going to add some overall sort of,
so it's quite a detailed plugin doing quite simple. That's quite simple to use.
Yeah, I would say
a lot of stuff, but it's quite simple to use.
I would say dive in, start messing with it, and very quickly you'll know whether you're helping or not. Are you making something sound better or not? I tried it in a mastering situation, and I found it to be very, very useful. It can do some amazing things. If someone sends you a mix, and it's really hard to explain how often this happens and how often it's a problem, the amount of stuff I get sent where it's just a bit lifeless. I don't know how to explain it other than that. There's nothing really wrong with the mix. Everything's sort of the right level, but everything's lacking a little bit of life and punch. Things like this really bring things like that to life. I think it would be good on a drum bus too. I think it could be great for vocals. You could do some really interesting things.
Wicked.
But yeah, like all their stuff, it looks great. It's easy to use. There's a really good analyzer. You can turn it off if you want, but it's really useful for setting this thing up. I've got a bit more into using that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, yeah.
It definitely can help. Some interesting things about it. It not only can you install all of the Tone Booster stuff on up to 4 different computers, which is cool, with one license. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's very cool. There's also iOS and Android versions of all of it.
Is that why?
Well, there are sequencers.
iPads.
There are doors that run on iPads, and there are doors that run on Android tablets and phones and everything else. Yeah.
These guys are ahead of the game, aren't they?
They are ahead of the game, I reckon. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And they do the demo. The
demo just lasts forever. You just can't save, which is great. You just mess around with it for as long as you like, bounce out as many tracks as you like. Yeah, very cool.
And if you buy it?
Well, €19. 19. I mean, maybe this only took someone a couple of months to code, but I'm guessing it was probably longer than a couple of months' work, and they've decided to charge €19 for it.
I'd love to speak to these guys.
Yeah, well, we have a dialogue with them. We're not involved with them in any way, but I did email the guy and say we're going to be reviewing some of your stuff. But it's a mind-blowing kind of business model. Everyone else is going the other way pretty much and seeing how much can we charge? What's the most someone will pay for this bit of code? Whereas they're kind of doing, what's the least we can charge and still be all right?
Yeah. I bet they get loads of them. I bet they're going like hotcakes.
I really, really hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. It's insane. €19. I mean, even if
you bought this, I take it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother downloading the demo. I just bought it. It's like, when it's that cheap, and I know I like their other plugins, I'm just going to buy it.
Just going to buy it.
And I think that's probably their business model. If they're all cheap, they might just buy them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
excellent stuff. So Sean, is the
Tone Boosters Enhancer.
Tone Boosters Enhancer shit?
No, it's a beautiful enhancer. It's a really clever bit of software, insanely cheap. There's nothing to not like.
Nothing not to
and
like.
If you didn't like it and you'd only spent €19 on it, or you end up not using it much, you haven't got the amp.
A bit like me, beautiful and cheap.
You're certainly one of those.
Beautiful. Please remember to like the video.
That'd be cool if you could do that, and maybe subscribe to the channel and or become a channel member.
Instagram, Studio Life 101.
There's our top 5 plugins, and there's links for all of those down there. And what else we got? There's some courses I've done. Check those out. There's merch and a load of other stuff, and it's all kind of down there somewhere.
Good. So, pub.
Okay.
Sayonara, suckers.
Adios.
So we should probably say that when we finish filming pretty much every week, we come here, or if not here, somewhere similar to here, have a pint and a bit of food, and just generally shoot the shit.
Debrief. Yeah.
Debrief.
Just talk more shit.
Talk more
Well, this is actually where it was all born from, isn't it?
Literally, well, our friendship started, as we were saying, in a bar, pretty much, and it's probably spent quite a lot of its time in bars.
Yep.
But not exclusively. We've mostly worked together, haven't we?
Yeah.
On various projects.
That's your doing. That's you making us work all the time.
I am making us work. I need to be
You've
doing
even turned the
things.
fun stuff into work now, look.
Turn the fun stuff in.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh.
It's good.